Alrighty, now, the cool part with the exhaust. These pipes were cut off and they got several bends in them, and I could have cobbled something back together to run out the side, and I would have if, thanks to my uncle and another guy at AGCO, found a set of OEM new old stock set of exhaust pipes for it. Run from the manifold. They run from the manifold out to the side. I don't have the curved part going out to the end, but I've got the this is the hard part to come up with. See, it's got several bends in it, and the other one does too there. They found a dealer that had them sitting on a shelf, and the tag, the shipping tag on them said September 1st of 1981. Said White Motors on the part number tag. Kind of neat that. It had been sitting on the shelf since 1981. The dealer ordered them in, never sold them or put them on a piece of equipment. And lo and behold, here in 2018, found them and said they had one. So my uncle had called out there to see if they still had them on the shelf, and he went back and parts guy went back and checked, and lo and behold, they were still sitting there, and got them. Came all the way from South Dakota. So that's kind of neat. And they also had, I don't need them because these were replaced when they overhauled this engine in '94, these manifolds, but they also had a set of brand new manifolds for it, and so I bought those too, just in case I ever have another 7600 or a 5555 that's got a 318 in it, or a 7300 that would need a set of manifolds. So I've got an extra set of brand new manifolds for it from 1981 also, so that was kind of neat. Okay, the guy at the machine shop said to check on these hydraulic lifters and to put it back together. I guess they used to when they just machine the valve seat to whatever depth. You know, they didn't have a set depth. They just, I guess, whatever kind of looked right or something, and so then they'd match the push rod length. You could buy different length push rods and match it to whatever you machine the valve seat to. Well, now you try to machine the valve seat to, you know, a certain depth so that they're all uniform, and you have uniform push rods. This engine has all uniform push rods in it. They're all the same length. But since we did get a different set of heads, he said all the valve seats were the same, but he wanted to make sure they were the same that was in the other set of heads I took off. And so he said take and put a lifter in the vise and squeeze the socket and squeeze the oil out of it, so that it's loose. And I did that on each side. I haven't checked this side yet, but this side I did it on this one here, and you can see it's loose. When the rest of them, even if they're off a lobe, they're still tight because they still have oil pressure in them. But I squeezed it out and it still got some movement, so that means you're not gonna, basically what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to not have you're not wanting to have too short of a push rod in it to where it you want it so you got some adjustment, so when the oil pressure comes up and it fills the lifter with oil, you're wanting to have to where it can have some room to adjust there, because they can compensate for quite a bit of slop, but they, you know, you can't compensate for everything. So, but I think we'll be alright as long as this side checks out. Got the manifold and everything on the back side. Got studs put in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and I got this all torqued down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the valve train on this side and torque it down, and then put spark plugs in it and whatnot, and then I'll probably put the manifold on, the intake manifold on last. Got the carburetor put together too. Alrighty, got her all buttoned back up here. Everything hooked up. I don't have any coolant in it yet. I want to make sure it's going to run first. But fire it up here and see how it does. Runs a lot better. Need to work on the adjustment here, get it to idle down a little more. Oil pressure and that runs a lot better. It's much more than that. Alright, well I put some coolant in it. It's getting kind of late in the evening here. I'll do that tomorrow though and come back to you then. I already ran outside this morning and do some stuff in the shop. I'm getting back to it here to finishing this video. Not going to run it real long. I didn't have enough antifreeze to fill it up all the way. But sure runs a lot better. Oh, I was going to show you what I do on this governor to set these governors. To set the governors, you open the throttle to the all the way position. It could be like that. This throttle valve's all the way open there, and you want to make sure this little lever can go past all the way open just a skosh. And that way the governor can open up the carburetor all the way under load. And then you set stuff, and then these things, they never give you quite enough travel because these rods bend and everything, and it's still going to have a little trouble idling down. I'm going to have to redo this rod just a little bit. But then you can see it pulls the governor arm when you idle down, and it overrides that when you go back this way. So that's how I set it. You just open it up all the way, and you take your hand and hold the carburetor shaft all the way open. And with this with the throttle rod not resting on it, then you set the governor wherever it's sitting. You tighten it up, and that way the governor will open it all the way up. Because if the engine's off, the governor is trying to open the carburetor as hard as it can. And the only time this arm here will start to move back this way is when you're getting up to, I think, 2850's full load on here, and it cuts it off about 3 thousandths of high idle, or 2950. So that's when it's starting to move back the other way. But we're gonna fire it up here again. Oh, I forgot to set the gas can up. I don't think my needle valve's going to leak, but I don't want to take a chance on it. And when I get the regular gas tanks tied in, won't matter. I'll have gravity working with me. Come on. variable speed things can be kind of goofy sometimes. That thing sounds a lot better though, and this is a lot more responsive. Gotta get the turnout so to bring around and point it back about like that. Well, I'll probably about do it here on the hedge, so thanks for watching.